Okay, hello everyone and welcome to another live stream from Randomised Gaming, and I'm your host for this Randomised Gaming live stream, Random Gamer Ribbon. And in today's stream I am going to be looking at Eye of the Beholder on the Super Nintendo. Hi Paper Hosse, hi, thanks for joining the stream. We're going to be looking at an absolute classic today with Eye of the Beholder on Super Nintendo. I do like this slight Operation Wolf homage. So, Eye of Beholder was originally developed for the sort of home computers by Westwood Studios, or Westwood Associates as they were back then. It was later ported to a number of home systems, and in 1994 Capcom were involved porting the Super Nintendo version. Capcom actually made a couple of tweaks to the game, and there are a few changes. And I'm playing the North American version, but I do actually have the Japanese version as well. I'm just going to dig out I've literally got the Japanese version next to me. One, because it uses the original Eye of the Beholder artwork, which you can see to the right of the stream with the classic skeleton tearing down the door. And also because it's got a load of the maps. So this game, for its era, and even today, is still rather complex with how it plays. Once you get into it, it's a very, very good dungeon action RPG, and if you like games like Baldur's Gate, you will no doubt definitely enjoy this. And I pulled out the Japanese manual because the Japanese manual actually has maps to begin with. So the original Amiga's version actually came with maps, but they were only like rough scrawled notes. So this game's incredibly complex. To give you an idea, there are a number of quests. So you've got all the initial games. So basically the game is effectively one epic dungeon in Eye of the Beholder as you go down investigating beneath the sewers of Waterdeep. Now, and there's lots of different things you could do. There's no towns or anything. They did do two sequels. There's Eye of the Beholder 2, which was also done by Westwood, and that is an even better game. And then Westwood Associates somehow broke with SSI, who were the publisher, and didn't do the third game. They actually went and did the Land of Lore series, and they did 3 of them. And they're actually very, very... If you want to play games of the fantastic follow-ups to the first 2 games, the Land of Lore series is definitely worth a look at. The third Eye of the Beholder game was done by a different studio and wasn't that good in the slightest, I have to admit. Even just watching it, I've never actually played the third one, but just watching some videos of it, it's a bit bland. So, without further ado, I'm actually going to begin with picking my team. Now, who I pick will definitely help with the adventure. You do want to have a good array of characters. So I'm actually going to start with, I'm going to go for a gnome. So basically, it's worth noting that if you have different characters like half-elf, elf, there's different languages in the game, and depending who's in your team depends who can read it. Now, you can only create 4 characters in this. So it's similar to Baldur's Gate, all those games. You can have up to a team of 6, but you can only create 4. The additional characters you find as you adventure. So effectively, you create 4 of your party, and then you discover additional characters as you go along. Apologies, the music is... I think Capcom did the music, so it's quite nice, but it does get very repetitive. But I think, you know what, I'm going to do something a bit odd. I'm going to pick a gnome. Let's do a gnome fighter. This might be quite fun. Let's make him lawful good. Or does it look like a gnome fighter? Of the first picture. Now, so here are the stats. So, charm 6. So what I'm looking for, so strength, intelligence, wisdom, dexterity, constitution, and charm. Charisma, that is. Just confirm that they are. And that's what they were in Baldur's Gate. Lawful good. Yeah, strength, wisdom, constitution, intelligence, dexterity, and charisma. So charisma in this one is probably the least important skill, but I need to re-roll because my fighter I want a much higher strength. So let's re-roll. So 8. I also want to keep an eye on his AC. The higher the arm value, so basically dexterity and constitution add to your AC. So the higher your dexterity, that's basically your dodge ability and your sort of strength. Oh, that's actually quite a good roll. So charisma 9, strength 18, 20, which is really high, intelligence 11, wisdom 10, dexterity 14, constitution. That's actually, I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep that because I've got a what should I call my gnome chap? Let's call him Dragoon. Dragon, because we can't call him Dragoon. That will be named after the randomizer. I'm not actually sure in this one paper. I think the stats may slightly differ. I think largely though the stats are based on the rolls you get. So I can't remember if certain character types have presets on certain roles, but I don't think it affects it too much. I don't know how close to the actual Advanced Dungeons and Dragons rule set that is. So I must have never actually played Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. I have 3rd edition, but not Advanced. Well, I played a lot of the games based on it. So let's do. So I'm going to be my usual character. I use a Baldur's Gate, to half elf, male. And I always like to be a ranger, so chaotic good. Let's see what pictures we got. So you got a selection of pictures to go for. So what's suitably rangerish or roguish. Couple of wizardy ones. I'm gonna pick this one. So charisma 11. That's actually a very, very good roll. It's just the strength is perhaps a bit behind, but strength 15 is not bad. I can't have to re-roll. I'm gonna have to That is a very good roll, but I probably want slightly higher strength. Oh, that's a very good roll. No, I'm going to re-roll it because I want higher strength. Oh. I want something higher than strength 15. Oh, that was dexterity 17. I should have taken that one. There we go. Strength 16. Intelligence 18, dexterity 16, dexterity, probably got slightly higher strength. Oh, that's dexterity 17 again. It's worth if you've ever played Baldur's Gate, you'll know it's well worth re-rolling. So I probably should have 18. There we go. The dex is not as good, but that strength is really good. Oh, so intelligence 12, wisdom I want high. I don't really want high. I want probably. It's probably going to make me pay. Dexterity 15. Intelligence is way too low there. Basically, you can, in theory, wait till you get what is described as a perfect roll. 1828. Come on, I want slightly higher dexterity. 1882. I'll keep with that one because that's I think that's a very so intelligence, wisdom's 14, dex. I would like a little bit higher, but 15. That means you can take a lot of damage. Yeah, let's keep that one. You've got high strength. And that will be me riven. So let's go for a dwarf female, and let's make her a cleric. Let's make her true neutral. A lot of these pictures have actually been redone for the SNES version, so that looks quite good. Dwarf female. So so I want high wisdom and intelligence, and at least a half decent strength. I want dexterity at least in the I want double figures on everything. So wisdom, intelligence. That's not a bad roll. What I like about Baldur's Gates is the fact you can keep a roll and then recall it. Oh, that's what I want. So high intelligence, high wisdom, decent dexterity, very good constitution. Charisma, I'm not too fussed about. You only really want one character with half decent charisma. What should I call my female dwarf cleric? Okay, so how do I go back if I don't like what I've got? I'm trying to call her Heidi, and then I was just trying to remember how to spell Heidi. No, let's go with a Shining Force reference. With Grace. So I've got Cleric for healing, and finally I will take... So I'm not going to take a halfling because there's a thief character I can use later on. I've got a half elf. Take an elf female, and I want her to be a mage. Ooh, let's... Okay, chaotic good. And what one looks for a good female magic user? So reroll. So with magic users I want again high intelligence over wisdom, but you still want high wisdom. So let's... Ooh. No, I don't want... I'll be careful I don't roll a good roll. Come on, give me higher intelligence. It's supposed to be an elf. I should be getting... That's the thing. I don't want a high roll where everything else rolls badly. Nope. So that's a really good roll for the intelligence, and the wisdom's half decent, but the constitution means she's just going to take too much damage too quickly. Okay, I don't want really low wisdom scores. No. Okay, that's okay. But the wisdom's probably a bit low. Dex 19 dexterity on that one. Should be able to dodge pretty much everything. Oh, that was a really good roll as well. Okay, there we go. Intelligence 16, Wisdom 18, Dexterity 16, Constitution 13. So Charisma and Strength are probably our least important skill set, so let's keep that. And I'll name her Tio as another character from Shining Force. So Dragon, Ribbon, Grace and Tio. Okay. So let's delve into the catacombs underwater deep. Yeah, that's quite a good stat. That was a really good stat to the mage. And the very first thing I'm going to do is save game, so that way if anything happens, I've got my characters all good to go. So, right, first thing I want to do is rest the party. Okay, there's memorize spells. So Teo, let's give her magic missiles. Give her 2 sets of magic missiles and acid arrow. Don't think she has... No, she can't do. Petition. So this is empowered. So cure light wounds. Empower. I'll do another cure light wounds, and I'll do protect from evil as a magic spell. Flame blade. Ooh, hold person. Slow person aid. Let's do hold person and flame blade. Describe scrolls. You don't need scrolls. Subscribe. Just going to rest the party until we hit. Okay, so now we have rested. Just check the game options. Nope, I don't want to drop character. Preferences. Right, so there are actually 2. You can use X brings up the menus, and I also have the ability to lock everything. I think it's Y, yeah. So Y allows you to move as if it's a thing. And B is actually use action. So this game is incredibly detailed with the how the game works. So that's... Now, one thing you want to do, in fact, before I begin anything, I probably want to read the note. Eleanor now to change the character. I'm just trying to read the note. There should actually be... That should detail the instructions. So if I do that, it gives me their stats, so I can just change through. Shows me their next XP to the next level. A and then B to use an item, so yeah, it should this one should give you a note. I don't know if it's actually in the SNES version. You should be able to read the commission letter where it says that you're the but I can't figure out what the controls are. Oh, unless it's like in the menu. Oh, I know what it probably is. Do I need to put it in hand? Can't put the item in hand. Ah, there we go. You have to put it in that one. So, commission and letter of Markwell. This document is a binding commission of service to the Lords and Sovereign City of Waterdeep. The bearer of this document are agents of the Lords of Waterdeep and are granted full rights of passage beneath the City of Waterdeep. And who would dare interfere risks the full penalty of our wrath. Information has been presented to us that there is a plot afoot in our city. Evident points to the sewers that run beneath Waterdeep. We have no information about the exact nature of the threat, but we feel she is grave. We commission you to find the nature of the danger and to destroy it. If you are granted full right to mark critical treasure artifacts, all treasure of your conquest, this right is made legal and binding by our mark on this 5th day of Markanoff in the Year of Shadow. The Year of Shadows, I should say. So yes, you can read notes. You have to actually... That's a bit of an odd one. You have to equip them into hand to read them, but that's good practice. So rule number 1 in Eye of the Beholder: pick up literally everything unless you don't have everything. Yeah, I'm slightly getting used to the SNES controls a little bit, so... But the X brings up the menus, and L&R do nothing, but Y allows you to... Basically, if I press Y, I move away from... So I can choose to mouse control. Now, this does actually support the Super Nintendo mouse, but I don't have it equipped. I'm using the joypad, but it's still pretty decent. So if I'm right... When I select anything, it's B to attack, B to attack, and... Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. But if you drop anything, you've got to pick it up. Now, this really is a game where you need to explore everywhere. So if it looks out of place, something can probably happen with it. So if you've never played Eye of the Beholder, it's very much a iconic SNES RPG. I'm just literally going to... So I've got the maps here. I'm just going to bring up... There are a ton of hidden quests in this that a lot of people don't realise, so... Just going to grab some maps for later on in case I need them. also like just hidden special quests throughout this. There's a special quest and there's the maps, which we'll be chatting about later. So this is a proper old school dungeon RPG. This really does reflect. So the SNES version does give you real-time controls. You can use the mouse, but you also effectively, this game treats it like you still have a mouse. But if I press Y, I'll go into real-time controls, so then I don't need to use the arrow. So it's technically slightly easy to control. Now the SNES version is based, it was done by Capcom, and it's actually loosely has had some changes. Do all the versions have music? I can't remember if the Amiga's version. Now this skeleton, halfling bones taken. So you might think, why am I taking the bones of a halfling? Well, it turns out we can resuscitate him later on. And he's a halfling thief. So I do need to keep an eye on the food rations over time. Your rations will deplete, so I do need to be careful. Just going to bring up the map I've got here. And the first thing to do is press the leather, and then away we go. Just to take. And there's a cobalt. Now, the cobalts in this are actually designed to look like the ones from Tower of Doom as Capcom did it. So Capcom actually based a lot of the visuals. So although the game was originally Westwood Studio, this port appears to have been largely done by Capcom, partly because they had the license at the time. But as you can see here, I can start exploring and searching, and no one is able to pry open this door, but I can press the switch and we can venture down. This is a proper explorative game. In fact, it's actually better if I just move. It's a real old school RPG, and if you've never played it, this has so much depth with it, despite the fact it is an old game. I mean, Westwood really were a fantastic studio. So you can literally search everywhere. So we can search the slimy, smelly drain pipe, reveals nothing. If you see it, you need to search it. In fact, I should have searched the pit below earlier, just to show you what it says. But literally so much details. Something scurries deep inside the floor drain, giving you that ooh factor. I played... Ooh, what have we got there? Can we read that? Cobalt ruins for entrance, Kabul. So that's the thing with having different party members. Only that's actually a gnome can read this writing. Other players will say they can't read it. So having the right team will decide what you can do. And the thing is, because of how it's set up, you could literally take a party of all mages if you want. It will make it a bit difficult, but it's just how you want to play. And this is this type of depth really sort of the follow-on from games like Dungeon Master. Dungeon Master itself did get a SNES version. Like scurries deep within the floor again. I'm also looking for anything out of the odd on any of the walls. You will have to do that as you explore. So we know that's a dead end. it said Cobalt entrance. Yeah, the music's actually quite nice. It does get a little repetitive, I will admit. But basically, this first floor is largely Cobalts. There are a few other enemies, but the Cobalts in this have been redesigned to look like the chaps in Tower of Doom. Now, I do have to be slightly careful about how I move because there are... Nope, I can't do anything. I can see on the map I've got in the SNES version there's actually a way through that wall, but obviously not at this point. There are a few hidden walls with switches. Switch there as well. I do need to be careful. Well, it is actually a little bit careful when opening doors. Make sure you throw the dagger there. It's great as the cleric. So magic miss out. Let's get that out. Get another spell out. She's got. Okay, so that was a good fight. We've got. Yeah, you do want it. You'll be needing lots of daggers for later on, so do pick up everything you can. It is a golden rule in Eye of the Beholder. Small ration. I will admit the SNES controls are a little bit fidgety. Dagger taken. I can put, so for now I'm just going to put dagger, that's a standard dagger. There are a couple of special daggers in this. No, I didn't want to do that. So yeah, we've got some more rations in there. Okay, so before I want to go any further, I will heal up. To the resting party, and they'll also actually going to clear, put in aid and put in hold person, because flame blade I need to be in the front rank at the minute, so I'll save it for later. So I've basically got to make slow but steady progress in this. Oh, and Grace has gained a level of experience. So some of those special events do give you good things, some give you bad things. Something odd about this wall, I feel. Another stone. Do pick these up. These will come in handy later and you'll see me use them in a bit. Can't go that way is locked. There's a drainage gate there. Okay, so this is what I mean by picking up every stone. You'll notice when we step on that switch, the door closes. So what I'm going to have to do is put something on the switch, which is going to be a stone. Okay, this one you gotta literally check everything. So you'll notice that stone is a little bit. Some more daggers as well. I'm just going to grab them all. You want to take all the spare daggers you can, because again we'll be using them later on. So a lot of the items you pick up on this, so as you see, almost everything you pick up and interact with will have some use later on. So unless you're absolutely overloaded, do try and take it. So darts taken. So those versions are actually pretty close. I must admit, I haven't played that far into the original Amiga's version. I know Dragoon has this part of the randomised gaming too. He's nearly actually finished it, so I don't know how close. Overall, I think this is actually a very close port. But it's just knowing your way around the game and actually exploring, so... Smelly drain pipe reveals nothing. And again, we've got another press. Switch to press. Okay, so that's opened up this door here that we came to before and couldn't. Can't go that way? Okay, so... Mage Scroll of Armour taken. Now, here's where things get interesting, because I know about the special quests, and I know there's one here. Clerical Scroll of Empowerment taken. So this game has a number of hidden quests that there are clues to. However, if you progressed far enough in the game, you'll know what these are. So, I'm going to place a single dagger into there. Special quest for this level. Gunso taken. So what it's done is it's upgraded the dagger I had and changed it into a special quest. There's actually, I believe, the quest. There are various clues throughout the game in terms of the special quests, and The hint for the first stage is put a dagger into the niche. Reward, it is turned into a magical dagger, or the magic that appears to protect may also empower a weapon. Cleric Stroll of Empowerment, so I'm actually going to give that to the cleric. And Mage Stroll of Armour, so what I'm actually going to do now is attempt to scribe those scrolls. So Armour. Do protect magic, and I've got second. Slow poison. Okay, and there she has got armor. And the cleric doesn't need empowerment, so the mage, in fact, I'm actually going to save it here, seeing as I'm having a good run. I've just run one of the special. Save game. Sure, save the game? Yes. Because we don't want any unfortunate accidents as we adventure. As always, if you enjoy these randomised gaming videos, please do consider hitting that subscribe button and the like button if you enjoy our content. So I'm actually... No, I don't think I need to rest. We've got something coming up round the corner. So there goes Gunshu. And basically, because this is a special dagger, every time I use it, I want to make sure that I give it back to Teo. Now, last bit, this game, originally the manuals did come. The SNES version, strangely, doesn't come, the Western version doesn't come with any of the, got another one, didn't get it with the hits. Now, the US SNES version, as mentioned, doesn't actually come with any maps in the manual, strangely, which is quite annoying. The original Amiga's version did, as did the Japanese Super Famicom version, which is where I've actually pulled the maps from. You get the first 3 maps. Basically, the start of the game gave you a couple of the maps. Apparently, the SNES version, actually, the Japanese Famicom, has more detailed maps than the original sort of Amiga's PC version. So, too slimy. So, we've got a locked door there. Got a passage down and a bigger passage this way. Get spells out. Magic scroll of detect magic. Okay, let's pop in there. We've got more daggers as well. Dagger taken. The dragons. Lots of spare daggers. Aid spell expires. Actually, before I do anything, I'm going to rest, seeing as his health's a little bit worse for wear. So rest party? Yes. And you auto rest until you're fully healed and you've restored all your spells, which is one of the options actually in Baldur's Gate. Where basically once you rest for 8 hours, use the healing spells and then rest again. Okay, trying not myself to get lost. Now, where did I go? I think we've got most of the monsters. I think I'm right. This is actually the end of the stage. Okay, yeah. I'm literally at the end of this floor. This floor is not that long, actually. It's quite self-contained, interesting and fairly straightforward opening section. We've got enemies. Let's get those throwing weapons out in there. Yeah, so that's actually quite handy getting the goose show. That's quite a potent weapon. Yeah, so this level actually slightly changes pending which way you go this opening stage. There's a couple of secret doors that will actually change. I'm actually going to swap the dart for her mace at the minute because she's a spellcaster, so... Okay, she can't use piercing weapons. So that way my dragoon's got the shield, I've got a sword and dagger that I can throw. Yeah, she can't reach with that. And we also have an arrow taken. I'm assuming you can just equip the arrow like... Now, I wonder if that's a one-time only arrow or... So, Cobalt Ruin for entrance. Down we go, ladies and gentlemen, into the second floor of either hod. So you see there's lots of mystical things. You have sub-quests hidden there, lots of enemies. It's quite an initial, fairly relaxed opening stage as we delve into the dungeon. It is a very interesting game. Let's go a bit further into the second part of the floor. Each quest I should add also has its own special. Each floor also has its own special quest. So let's do. Now this floor is quite a bit bigger than the others. This game does have lots of tricks. So we're down to the second floor. Thank you. And I'll just say hello to, apologies, I can't pronounce your name. Is it Nathian? Cathian? Thank you for joining the stream. Hope you enjoyed your look as we delve deeper into Eye of the Beholder. Right, so now here's the thing, we've got 1 silver key and I've got 3 door locks. Which should I go for? I do like exploring everywhere, so let's go for this one. You see, there's certainly a lot of hidden areas in this bit. The maps are actually massive when you start. This second floor is like twice the size of the previous floor. Lots of hidden areas, sub-areas that you won't even realise about that aren't even documented as well. Broken teleporters and other traps as well here, so... Not all is it as peers. How good a hint is that? We'll find out. Okay, so first thing worth noting, when you step on this one, it actually throws you a little bit, so it's actually turning you. That square, it's a little bit hard to see because of how it is, but basically the item should be in front of us, but it's not because it's actually turning us, so... Just look. Let's go this way first off. And that is a sling. Now, can she use a sling? Sling take. Yep, she can use a sling. Okay. Hollow laughter echoes faintly. What have we got there? One odd carving to place in. It's a carving of a dagger, isn't it? Now, this is why I said to keep all the daggers. So we don't want to waste Gushino, but let's just put a normal dagger in there, shall we? Voice says illusion, solid illusion. Dagger taking a whispering voice. this orc ruin of passage. So what does that mean? That means we can actually go through that one. Mage Scroll of Shields taking. Okay, so let's give it to the mage. Turn right monsters, I see. Okay, so that was actually quite a tough fight, so okay. Should actually give Grace the last remaining stones. I think I've got enough daggers, so... Odd place for a carving here. Should we place another dagger in there? You can see why Baldur's Gate was such a good game, and also what clearly was sort of the inspiration for games like Baldur's Gate, where they just took it an open world and expanded upon it. And I really would like to see more RPGs like that again. That'd be nice, even if we just did a new Eye of the Beholder. With sort of, I suppose, arguably it would just be like Morrowind, but. So every time I step on that floor, it changes to where we're facing. More rations. So eventually I have to rest and actually use up my rations. So I'm just checking my character stats. So at the minute he's quite good on rations. He's good on rations. And we've got lots of rations to share at the minute. Actually probably give Teo one of these rations. But you do need to think every move costs you movement. So eventually you will run out of rations. So it's a good idea to keep moving. But at the same time, not to backtrack as well, because too much backtracking and you're going to be losing performance. So let's say we've got a passage here. This is the Orc Ruiner passage. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to rest. I'm also going to save it. More arrows as well. Now, no, she won't be able to use the arrows. She's a cleric, will she? Just wondering if you can fire arrows without a bow, or whether you can shoot them automatically. Another orc passage room, and more rations. So we've got a lot of rations at the minute, fortunately, so... Okay, let's head back. We were just here a second ago. Okay. What's going on with this room? Very peculiar with this room. Well, tell a lie, I know exactly what's happening. So, there's an orc passage in some of these blocks. Basically, there are hidden teleporters that are moving you around. Basically, you have to walk through these walls here. If you try to walk through a floor, you'll be teleported back to the entrance. So, I have to go through these hidden walls here to actually get out. And hey presto, here we are. Okay. Is that just turning you? Ah, it does, so if I'm correct. Yeah, I think it's turning you right one when you step on this block. So let us delve down deeper into the dungeon. So we've done that section there. I guess onto this section. And see what we find. Okay, we have a stairway down into the system area. Watch your step, indeed. Yeah, I did that bit. I've done that bit the other day, so I know. Seems to be movement inside this floor. This place, it does. The atmosphere is very, very good. For Eye of the Beholder, it does bring across this sort of cheap, rather unsettling. Slimy drain pipe. We've got another alcove. We've got another ration pack. I'm just collecting rations at the minute, although I will have to start eating some. And we've got the next silver key, so that's all 3 silver keys. Okay, press that switch. The door appears stuck. Can't go that way. The party tries to force the door impale. The party forces the door. Yeah, so you can try forcing doors, and sometimes you just have to force them multiple times. So, check my character's food stats. I think they're all good at the minute, all the party in terms of health. Basically, HP and food. If you run out of food, it's game over as well. So. Like I said, this is a superbly detailed RPG. It's probably a bit too detailed for some, but I think it's an absolutely fantastic game. Certainly as a D&D fan, it's one of those games that perhaps when I was younger I didn't appreciate as much, whereas now I really appreciate the depth and complexity of it. Can't go that way, let's force it. Tries to force the door, yep, and we succeed, so let's, it's the skeleton! And he went down pretty quick, didn't he? Potion bottle. Okay, not sure what a green potion does, but we've got one now. The delving deeper. Oh, another carving. Let's put another dagger in that. We've got another room with another switch. Ooh, and the wall disappears. Can we search it? Oh, we've got another skeleton. Let's force that door. Oh, no, it's a zombie. Yeah, having that the gunstote is very, very helpful. If you know how to get it, a lot of people, of course, you won't realise it. There are, I think, clues hidden throughout the game at later stages. Because, of course, this is an open world game, you can come back to any of the floors at any point. So you can travel back into and from the various floors. Party forces the door, and we have rations. More rations. Let's go into the group. A giant potion of strength. Oh, that could come in handy. And another silver key. And not much else. I didn't go down the ladder just before me a bit earlier, so I'll just go down there. Going down, 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 down. Also, the more this is the type of game that when you play, you realise, oh, we've got a potion of healing taken. So it's worth going down here. This is where you'd have fallen for a lot of the pits in that above section. I managed to navigate without falling down. As I did mention earlier, this does actually support the Super Nintendo mouse, although I'm using the joypad for ease. But yeah, just to show you going up, we can go back up to the previous floor. So basically this is a totally open world adventure game if you want to traverse. The only downside to traversing too much is every time you move, your rations, your health. Well, basically, I suppose the food represents your endurance first, hunger. If that depletes too much, your characters start taking major damage. So you do need to keep them sort of stocked up on that. And I don't believe you can generate. I'm not sure if you can actually generate food, so I don't know whether there comes a point where if you spend too long in this game, you physically will die from lack of food. Okay, so into the unknown we go. Now I've got to be careful, we've probably got quite a few monsters about. The stone dagger. Obviously looks like a special item. Okay, let's go around here. Odd one, we just gotta... So Waterdeep, in case you don't know, is a city in Forgotten Realms. It is actually mentioned if you ever played Baldur's Gate, as Baldur's Gate was also set in Forgotten Realms. Waterdeep is actually the city north of Baldur's Gate, and it's basically like the biggest... I think it's like the biggest city on Faerun. I might be wrong, but it's one of the largest. It's basically the biggest city on the main continent, I believe. Hence why you get a lot of games actually set in Waterdeep. So we've got a path going that way and a path going this way. Can we force that? No one is able to pry open this door. Another door for a dagger. Special quest for this level. Okay, rations taken. And that's also opened this. So basically, those 4. You have to place daggers in each of those 4 areas to open. Another potion of healing. Another ration. So I'm stocked up on rations quite literally at the minute. Now each level actually has a special quest, and I believe there's a special little bit in the ending if you get all the special quests. So the first one was you get the dagger if you place a normal dagger into the hole that gives you the 2 scrolls, and this one if you place 4 daggers into the relevant holes with dagger slots, making sure you do not. I believe you can actually place the Ginsu in one of those slots, but if you do, you lose it. Although at this point in the game, unless you know about the Ginsu, you will not be able to get it, because I don't believe the clue for it is much later, and it's not something you would initially think about doing. This carving looks familiar. RATF. Yes, it's the Rapid Access Teleport System. I mean, it is actually a very faithful fort. Admittedly, the visuals aren't quite as good as the DOS PC version, where the marble effect looks slightly better in the background, and there's slightly higher colour uses, but it's very, very close. I know the teleports, I think, are slightly different colours. So that was a rapid access teleport, but I'm not going to use that. I'm actually going to explore the area. Seems to be movement inside the drain. It's all very... It does feel like it's a sewer, doesn't it? The atmosphere is superb, as mentioned. The only downside, really, is the music doesn't change too much, so I can imagine a few people might be getting a bit fed up with the music in the background. And we have a switch. The rooms seem to move. Da-da. Corrosion facility. Okay, so basically this is some sort of weird, almost elevator type room. So what's in the corrosion facility? Okay, this doesn't look too good. I think I've got monsters behind most of these doors. Let's find out. You can't go in there. Oh, yes, we do have. Ooh, helmet taken, nice. So if I'm correct, so strength. So just change character, does it give me AC 7? So if I take that off, does this give me better AC? Well, I'm hopeful, so... See, the downside of a slingshot is you can't use anchor spells. It's 8, no, B to cure light wounds. I don't think that was a good... Set me at level 2, so protect evil. Eh. Ooh, I finally got a bow. Now if I've got a bow, do I want to put my ranger in the back? Really annoying. I wish B was also a equipped weapon rather than A's equipped it, but I suppose it's A's, yeah, A's pick up and place weapon. Okay, I'll live dangerously for now. There's lots of items down here. I've got quite a few scrolls I should try and learn, so... Ooh. Okay, this is the section I was in earlier, the underground section. The depth of this game is superb, in fact. How old it is. It really is an incredibly well put together title, so I think this is the last. But she's used her cleric abilities on one. Come on guys, get your close combat weapons ready. And magic spells. Magic missiles. There we go. It's definitely one you don't want to rush into combat. Always rest before you do go into combat as well. So other than a helmet, I don't really think there was much point in coming here. But it's nice we... Press that button, and are we still in the corrosion facilities? Okay, so first off, I'm going, before I do anything more, I'm going to rest. Seems a nice safe little room at the minute. I'm going to save. So did I petition? To memorize spells. Did I learn invisibility? Yes. And that's not at all a slightly ominous name for a section, the fear section. Well, let's brave it and see what we find. Okay, so that's everywhere in this sort of subsection. We've got a golden key. I assume we'll be using that later. And we have left, I think this is back to the start area we were. So there's the teleport. Okay, so that was an interesting little detour. Just shows you how big this game is. I mean, it's 2 hours in and I'm still on the first floor. Having picked my characters. When you know what you really spend time, this is a huge game to explore and adventure. This requires a key. Okay, let's find out which key works in it. Okay, so yeah, this is what I mean when sometimes when your party gets quite badly injured, you need to heal up for a while. So those last few slogs, we did quite a few skeletons. That last one was... I should have hit the camp button as well, so... Does that open the door? It has indeed. My guys have actually leveled up quite a bit already, so... Potion of healing taking. Is that it? All this for a potion of healing? Lots of sub-rooms to hide in. It really is a superbly crafted game, man. My rations already... As we brave further into the deep. Yeah, keep that dagger. Don't need to revisit that area, I don't think. Oh, no, something's attacking me. So she's used her turn monsters. That's actually quite a handy power to get rid of monsters pretty quickly. Now, I will admit, if you just wander around aimlessly, you can get into real trouble real quickly in this. And also the fact, if you lose a character early on, it's better to restart. So always keep saving so the event you don't lose anyone early on. Because if you lose someone early on, you are going to be in a spot of bother. Trying to work out where I am at the minute. requires a key. Okay, so I'm gonna hazard a guess it's the gold key. And hey presto! We are down to the 3rd floor, so I'm gonna rest up a bit there. I might finish, I'll probably finish shortly, seeing as you've hit about the 2-hour mark, but before I do that... See, so camp just brings up the rest. All characters fully healed and rested, and I'll just save, seeing game options, save game, seeing as we've got this far, so... Let us brave the depths. So the first 3 floors you actually get maps for in the original game. After that, it's solely up to you. And this is an equally big floor as the last one. And where have I entered in from? So... You feel dizzy, you can't go that way. Okay, that spun me around, hasn't it? That's what you feel dizzy means. You feel dizzy, so whenever it says you feel dizzy, it means you've been spun. Some rooms, floor rooms, rotate you. So lots of hidden teleporters. That's the one thing I will say. It'd be nice if they gave you a sound effect, teleporters. Often they don't, so it's a bit weird when you're moving through stages and all of a sudden you're being... It's not like you hear a... Ooh. Ooh. So that thing can breathe fireballs, can it? Make sure we get the advantage. Bet we got it. And handily, that thing's dropping rations as well. Not much to do here but heal as I took an absolute beating. So those lizard monsters are actually quite nasty. Okay, so we need 3 silver keys. I need 2 at the moment, so I think I'll save the keys for later until I can get 3 of them as I journey into this deep dungeon. Can't go that way. More silver keys. It requires a key lock. Okay, let's use the silver keys here. Potion of extra healing. And potion of extra healing. Okay, so I don't think I need to use a second key there. Now, did I get it, or was that... More monsters. These lizard monsters are quite common on this stage. Oh, I missed. Come on, hit, hit, hit. Let's get those hits in. We'll be using magic. Oh. But my 2 close combat guys are actually holding up pretty well. He says that I start taking hits. Okay, the amount of the health the enemies do have seems to vary wildly. I have noticed. Some seem to go down in like a handful of hits, others seem to take a lot more of a beating. Even for the same type of monster, so... Nope, don't want to do that. Pop it there. Okay, let's set up camp here and hope for the best. I should check memorize spells. Do I have any? magic. Ooh. Let's go for armor. Invisibility. And petition. She must. Does she got? Nope. She can't memorize any spells. Exit. Let's just rest and refresh all my spells. Back on myself. It is quite easy so to slightly go back on yourself on this. I will admit the navigation, because there's no map, it doesn't auto map for you or something. It's perhaps not the most welcoming game for amateurs. You definitely need grid paper to map things out. So it looks like the inside of a jewel box. Okie dokie, I've actually fallen into the floor below, so this is going to be interesting. Dwarven key taken, so So I need to find my way back to the floor above. Okay, that was quite a fight. Just going to rest the party here and hope the poison... No. Okay, how am I supposed to heal poison at this point? Okay, I think this is where I'm gonna come a cropper because my party is all poisoned. I can't work out how to use potions either, but I don't think I have one to cure poison. Strength for giant. Potion of extra healing. Do I have to actually put potions in? Yes, I do. hammer. I must be on the 4th floor somewhere. Okay, the map I currently have for this floor is slow. How do I slow the poison? I feel falling down this floor may have been a grievous mistake. My cleric, I can't hear. But you can. Let's just see what happened to me. Rest. Does it just finish off? No. Poison members will perish. Will you rest? No. What do I do then? The game's given me no way to cure poison, and it's slowly killing my characters. So yeah, there are a few rather nasty sections in this that you need to know what's coming. Which is probably why a lot of these early games did frustrate people, because you didn't give... I mean, if you're going to poison them, at least give them the ability to heal it. Okay, it's this. Ooh. At least finally got some different music at this point. Yes, definitely it is a classic dungeon adventure, but very tough. As you see there, and very unforgiving in places, so I'm going to lose my characters. There's really not much I can do at this point. Bar load my save game. So some of the annoying things some of these early ones did do, they put you in basically unwinnable positions. So at a point where I can't cure the poison, it's slowly draining my people. I'm saying drink a potion. Just think it tells me how to cure the poison ailment. I had slow poison. I'm guessing there's a spell for it, which I don't have. The handy thing of having a player reference zombies, Zorn, skeletons, rust, magic kobolds. Neutralize poison, area effect 1 character. Okay, so what level of spell is that? That's not at a level I currently have. Thank you, game. I think basically by falling down that pit, I've put myself in an unwinnable position. So I think I'll need to restart. My character's just health draining constantly. And I think now's actually a good point to end the stream, seeing as I've been doing it for 2.5 hours. It's a nice title. It really is an iconic game, Eye of the Beholder, and I do highly recommend it if, like me, you like these old school RPGs. They're very much more in depth, and I said a lot more unforgiving. As you can see, I'm going to have to reload my save and then avoid getting poisoned by the spiders. That will basically be the tactic for a lot of them. So a few of those sections weren't well planned out as a result. But it is a very, very gripping game, and you see that we're only on the 4th floor and we're 2 hours in. Just it's a big game. It's a hugely exploring. It is an iconic game. If you liked Eye of the Beholder, I mentioned they did. My party needs to rest before I can gain spells, and if I rest, my characters pass away, and I don't have the spells to cure the poison. So it's a catch-22. I don't think I had any scrolls to neutralise poison as well, so it's kind of a bit infuriating at this point. But I think that's a good point to wrap up, seeing as we explored the first 3. We've actually gone down to the 4th floor accidentally. It is a really just iconic game. I said this is the Super Nintendo version. It does work with the mouse. It probably is slightly easier to play with the mouse. You've probably seen me fumble a few buttons here and there, but overall actually the SNES version is pretty solid, as you've seen me playing, and it does still hold up very well. Admittedly, it's only quite a small game area, and it is a game you do need to memorise, but it is an iconic dungeon adventure, Eye of the Beholder. It's a shame only the first game got released on consoles. The second game came out later and got. I think possibly this didn't do that well at that point, because I suppose by the time 91, by the time the consoles ports arrived in 94, this was in many ways quite dated, which was the problem. There is a Sega CD version as well, so it is available on the Amiga. You can get the PC versions currently on Good Old Games, I noticed. They're about the only retailer. I wish this was on Steam, but it's not currently on Steam, sadly. It is only available on Good Old Games. But this has been the Eye of the Beholder. So if you want you can get a collection of Good Old Games. It's actually all 3 games, so it's the first, the second, and third. Third game's a bit naff, but the first 2 are brilliant. You can also get the first 2 Land of Laws, which Westwood did after they fit. Basically, Westwood did the first 2 Eye of the Beholder games and then went on to Land of Law. Whereas the third Eye of the Beholder game was done by a different studio, I think under license. And then Capcom, as I mentioned, actually partly did this SNES port, because I think they had D&D license at the time because they were doing the arcade games, which is quite interesting. So there are a few nods to the arcade games in this, and I think there's a few region changes between the Japanese and English version, I understand. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this stream. My name has been Random Gamer River on behalf of Randomised Gaming. As always, if you enjoy our content, please do hit that like button. It really does help. You can always hit the bell button to be notified, although I think YouTube might be axing the bell button, I thought. But thank you all for watching. Thank you all for viewing. As always, if you enjoy our content here at Randomised Game, please subscribe to the channel. That's it from me. I will be back Thursday streaming again. I won't be streaming tomorrow. Got a few things to do as always. I'm only doing 3 days a week, plus it's getting quite sweaty as well. So maybe I might go back to doing 5 days at some point, but at the minute, not during the summer. Maybe during the winter I might do some more streaming, but at the minute it's nice to be able to do other projects. I do have a couple of videos on the go at the minute, so more content coming, and that's ideally where I want to be spending a bit more time, because the streams do slow up my time to do some of the other gaming video content. But thank you all for watching. This has been Eye of the Beholder on the Super Nintendo. It was released in 1994 on the Super Nintendo, and it is an absolutely fantastic game, as you've seen. Very in-depth. I do recommend you get some maps so you know what you're doing, as it's not an easy game to navigate. But thank you all for watching, and I'll be back Thursday for another stream. Have a good night, good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, everyone, wherever you are in the world.